All right, Navy might be as good an independent school as there is in the country. They've won 10 and 9 and 8 the last 3 years. I think they beat Notre Dame a couple of times, and they're leading the nation in rush offense right now. They run the triple option, fullback, quarterback, pitch guys. So we're going to have our hands full slowing down these guys. Their coach had done an unbelievable job, 29 and 14 in his 3 years and so forth there. And they're 2-0 this year, and they just play well. They play very well. They don't beat themselves, and they know how to run the ball. Their coach followed Paul Johnson, who went to Georgia Tech, and obviously kept the same style of offense and defense pretty much there. So hopefully we can play better. We haven't played our best yet by any means, and we're trying to coach as hard as we can. I hadn't coached our guys very well yet, so I'm trying to do a better job trying to get some pass defense out there and trying to get some pass offense out there. We haven't been very good in those areas. So we've got a lot to work on, and hopefully we'll play one of our best games. So we'll probably need to do that to beat Navy here this week. 6 o'clock game. I want to say thanks to our fans, all of them that were at our last game. We had a big throng there in Athens, and fortunately, as it ended up, they were the last ones to leave. It's always good when our fans are the last to leave wherever we go. So we appreciate their support there last week. Okay, other than that, most all of our guys are healthy. Sean Carson hurt his knee. He's probably going to miss this season. Just talked to him a few minutes ago, and we'll try to redshirt him, and that'll give him 4 more years to play here. But he's an outstanding runner with the ball, and really going to be, I think, a really great tailback for us here at South Carolina. That will separate him a year from Marcus, and maybe give him a little bit more opportunities down the road. But that was a very unfortunate injury that happened during the game. I think that was about our only one. So everybody else is in pretty good shape. Okay, any questions? Glenn?
Coach, it's been 6 full games now since you guys played one here at Williams-Brice. Talk about what that can do for the confidence of this team, especially after 2 very tough victories to start the season.
Right, we haven't been here in a while, but that's just the way the schedule worked out. We had our last one at Clemson last year, and then of course the bowl game, championship game, and so forth, and then we opened up away this year. And but that's just the way it worked out. But yeah, we're anxious to get home here, and anxious to play in front of our crowd. It's always a big night when we have a home game, so forth. But we're thinking about trying to play football a little bit better. That's what we're trying to think about right now. Trying to block, tackle, throw, catch, all those kind of things a little bit better than what we've been doing. So, but we do have a good win behind us. We have an excellent win behind us, and if we can improve from right here on out, maybe something big can happen this year. Who knows?
Coach, this is the case where you have to play assignment football defensively?
Yeah, I think so. I talked to our defensive coaches the other day, and of course we've been watching these other teams that run it and how they defend a team when they play, like Georgia Tech on defense against these teams. Army, Navy, I think that's our best game because both teams run the same offense and how they defend each other. So we got an idea. We got an idea of how to do it, and Coach Johnson, of course, has played against this style during his defensive career. So we'll have a plan in place, and we just got to play fast and play assignment ball and get after them, and that's what we got to do.
Prior to the Georgia game last week, you praised Boise State for the way they played football, played the game right. You see the same qualities in this Navy football team, the way they play with discipline?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, Navy takes care of the ball. They get the most out of their players. Yeah, I would say they're very well coached, and they do an excellent job with the players they have there. In fact, Navy is, I read where they're 500 against SEC opponents in the last 40 years, whatever, how many years it's been, but they're 9-2, I think, overall against SEC opponents. Yeah.
Steve, with your passing game, is it a case of just maybe shortening up the field more? Is it just get more consistent quarterback play? What seems to be the solution right now?
Oh, the solution is we're just not throwing some completions, and Georgia had some good coverages on. We had a couple of plays where really there was nowhere to throw it. Stephen did a good job throwing it away. He really did. Had a few plays on the sideline. We threw it a little wide, but other than that, Georgia played well defensively, and they stuffed us up pretty good. Give those guys credit.
Coach, after the Alabama game last year, you talked about not having a letdown. Is that something that you talked to? I mean, just sort of being on guard against a team like Navy, especially with kind of what happened with Clemson last week against a team that runs a similar style of offense.
Well, those teams, they play well no matter what you did the week before. If you win, lose, or tie, well, you can't tie anymore. But anyway, no, we were not in any letdown mode around here. We didn't play a very good game last week. We had some big plays, and that's the only reason we won. So we got a lot of coaching to try to do, and hopefully our players realize we need to play a whole lot better, or we'll be in trouble.
Coach, while you do say there's room for improvement, are you at least pleased that in previous years, a close game like you had against Georgia down there, maybe you guys wouldn't have closed that game out, but you found a way to close out a good team like Georgia? Does that at least make you?
Well, it was encouraging that, yeah, we were behind in the fourth quarter and ended up winning. That's very encouraging. We haven't done that much around here. So that drive, you know, we had three big plays in the drive. One like we just went right up and down the field. We had the interference to start with, and then Stephen rolled out and hit Ace on a beautiful scramble play, and then Marcus had the big run down to the 1-2 yard line there. So anyway, it was nice that happened. You know, we got Melvin got the big play and so forth. But we need to concentrate on shoring up our defense and our offense. We need to throw the ball much better and so forth. I don't know how long we keep getting all these big plays, but we've had basically we had 4 touchdowns, 3 from the defense and 1 from Melvin in the fake punt. So we've trying to play a little bit better offensively around here.
Steve, you set up the game Saturday night that you weren't a very good team now, but isn't one of the marks of a good team to still find ways to win, even when you're not playing your best?
Well, 56, 37, 45, 42. That's where we're at right now. You know, I'd like to hopefully get down to 31 to 7 or 10. That's what we'd like to get to if we could, or whatever. You know, we make some big plays, and then the next thing you know, the other team scored again. So we've got to shore up our pass defense, and we got to throw the ball better. Special teams has been pretty good. Our kickoff coverage got bad again last week. We still got guys not hustling down the field as well as they should. So that was discouraging. So anyway, we got a lot of coaching to do this week. See if we can perform at a higher level than what we've been doing.
Steve, when Marcus has gotten going second half in the past 2 weeks, how much of that is just Marcus, and how much can you attribute the play of the offensive line there?
Yeah, the O-line did pretty well. They did a good job of stopping our little inside run play, and we finally started calling some different runs that got him freed up. And Marcus is, of course, an excellent runner. And you know, at the end of the game, I didn't realize he had 172. Is that what it was?
76.
76. I thought that 110, 20. It didn't seem like he had all that many. But he was getting yards, I guess, as we went. We just weren't finishing any drives at the time. But yeah, we don't forget about Marcus running the ball. That's what gives us a chance.
Coach, Bruce Ellington was basically neutralized by the kicking game at Georgia last weekend. I don't think he got a return 2, and one was on a short kickoff due to a penalty. And he got 1 snap at the Wildcat. Do you hope to utilize him more going forward?
Well, we hope to utilize a lot of guys going forward that we haven't, you know. So we're trying to utilize all of our guys more. And to do that, the offense needs to stay on the field longer, and our defense needs to get the other team off the field quicker. And those things have not happened real well. So anyway, and our passing game hadn't gone very far. So we're trying to utilize more, all of our guys more, really, put it that way. Bruce is doing fine. He almost had 1 kickoff return. One guy missed a block that might have really broken one. But anyway, he's doing fine.
What is it about these games that makes it such a close competition, more so in regards to the scores? So many of them have been decided by a touchdown or less.
Well, these other teams are pretty good. They are pretty good. And they come to play, and I think Navy would play anybody tough, really. I don't know if they can play Alabama tough. Alabama, they know how to stuff these teams that are not very, big, strong teams. But for some reason, Wofford always plays us or Clemson, pretty close, it seems like. There's just doesn't seem to be many blowout games with them or Furman or whoever. So anyway, we just got to go play the best we can. But we're concentrating not so much on our opponent, but ourselves right now. We've got to learn how to play this game at a higher level. And hopefully real soon, now that we're in the middle of the season. And this will be a good test for us this week.
Coach, up here. There's a new study out today, Coach, by the National College Players Association and a professor in sports management at Drexel University that talks about the fair market value of top-tier football and basketball athletes is over $100,000. They're making some recommendations, some of which align with what you said before about paying the full cost of scholarships. But I wanted to get your reaction to that cover the full cost of attendance, but also some things that are a little bit more controversial, like lift restrictions on all college athletes' commercial opportunities, and also allow revenue-producing athletes to receive a portion of new revenues that will be put in an educational lockbox that could be used after they graduate. What do you think about those kinds of things?
Well, I think it's all true. Of course I think it's true. 20 years ago, 50 years ago, athletes got a full scholarship. Television income was what, maybe $50,000? And now everybody's getting 14, 15 million bucks, and they're still getting a scholarship. Now their value is, it's all based on money. It's not based on anything else except what they bring into the university money-wise. And they're talking about it. I don't know that they'll do anything until maybe they have to do something. Football, basketball players bring in a lot of money. And whether or not they're entitled to $3,000 to $4,000, I think $3,000 to $4,000 a player would make them pretty happy. And all the money that comes in is the reason for it. If there wasn't any money coming in, I'd say shoot you out. Full scholarship's good for everybody. There's no, that's fine. But the enormous amount of money that comes in, they pay all the coaches and the other sports, benefit from it. And the top players, well, especially the players that are doing the performing, they're treated like everybody else. That's just, that's just my opinion. Some other people have different opinions, but anyway.
Steve, will you make any wide receiver lineup changes? Looked like you moved Jason Barnes down the rotation last week.
Yeah, he may be back in today. Yeah, D.L. Moore's hurt. D.L., his shoulder's messed up, his ankle's messed up. He's hurt, so he's out this game. And Jason Barnes and Bruce, we're trying to get them more involved this week. And Alshon and Ace will be in there. We still don't know about Demir Bird. There's a chance he may be declared eligible, or there's a chance he may not be. So we'll find out later in the week on that. But hopefully we can get all those guys involved more.
Coach, have you ever had a player like Antonio Allen, just seems to really be in the zone right now? His last 3 regular seasons had a defensive touchdown. I mean, what's that like to watch a player do that?
Yeah, Antonio's having a All-American type year, no question about it. Big plays. That interception was a big play. He had some miscues here and there, but overall he's playing extremely well. He and Melvin obviously had the big plays, and Stefan got the fumble, had the good bounce right to him, and made an excellent run. And you know, if one of our defensive backs had got out of his way, he would have scored on the play. But we had a defensive back running in front of him, giving the number 1 sign. Anyway, hopefully he'll never do that again.
If so many teams have success with the option, why don't more schools run it?
It probably doesn't suit everybody's talent that much, and it's well, if it worked for everyone, obviously you'd think everybody would use it, wouldn't it? Yeah. So maybe it doesn't work for everybody. I don't think it would work for us.
But I guess there's so much pressure on coaches to win. Why wouldn't you go with a proven commodity and recruit that way?
Well, you can. Paul Johnson does it at Georgia Tech. And this guy does it at Navy very well. I don't know who other teams.
Wofford.
BS1, I mean, BCS schools. They're doing it. Air Force, Brigham Young, sort of, yeah.
Over here.
I don't have the answer to that one.
Steve, in college football generally and in the NFL, like with Brady last night, teams, going with the no huddle. Is there anything lost in going away from the old-fashioned huddle, communication-wise, flow of the game-wise? Do you miss anything about the old-school huddle?
Yeah, everybody's trying to speed up a bit. That's a new thing. No huddle, trying to get a lot of plays out and so forth. Yeah, there's still a place every now and then for the huddle, especially if the other team knows your signals, knows your calls a little bit. Sometimes it's always amazing to me in practice that, we use the same words and so forth in practice. We don't huddle in practice. And, a lot of our defensive guys, they're not paying any attention. They don't know what play is. I'm serious. And now the secondary guys, they know our pass checks and all that. So if we audible to something, of course, most of them were on offense at one time or another, but they're smart enough to figure out all that. So anyway, defensive guys, they don't listen to the quarterback yelling much that I know of.
Coach, you were talking about the passing game improving. Is there anything fundamentally that Steven's doing right now that's caused him to be a little high on Saturday and a little off on some of his throws?
No, I just think he was a little pumped up or so forth. And he actually sort of said, well, I felt like I need to throw over that guy and this, that, and the other. Yeah, he was a little high early and then settled down a bit there later. In fact, our 2 best plays of the game were 2 scramble plays where he rolled out the pocket and hit Alshon and hit Ace. So maybe that's our best play right now.
Also, is this Stevens' game to go out and play, or is there any predetermined snaps that you might think of today that you'll go ahead and give to Connor?
No. Stevens' our quarterback. We all firmly believe he's our best guy now. And the competition was over. And he's got every opportunity to take us as far as he can because we firmly believe he's our best quarterback on the team.
Coach Spurrier, Coach Rich for the Bulldogs commented on the rivalry surrounding Georgia and South Carolina, and he basically stated that there's a long-standing rivalry between border states and both schools. They recruit many of the same players. What are your thoughts?
On the rivalry?
Yes.
Well, I think they are one of our biggest conference rival. I really think that. And but I don't think we're theirs by any means. Their biggest rival is still Florida, and Auburn's always been a big rival. Of course, they got Georgia Tech like we got Clemson. But we haven't, here in South Carolina, we haven't beaten anybody enough times in the conference to have a big rivalry. Hopefully, Georgia and Florida and Tennessee will become pretty big rivals if we can beat them consistently. Then they'll start getting mad at us. But Georgia's, they're not real mad at us, I don't think. Their fans were very nice, I tell you. My daughter was at the game, and she's probably been to 20 Florida-Georgia games. She said, that's the nicest Georgia fan I've ever seen. Some guy was sitting up in her section. But they were good fans. I thought they were very good fans at the game. As far as, being respectful and so forth. So they get a little nastier, I think, when they play Florida and Auburn and some of those schools. Yeah.
Steve, the 1984 game between USC and Navy is kind of a defining moment in program history. Have you heard any of that talk this week, or have you heard it during your tenure here?
Oh, we mentioned just some prior games that we played with them, but that game has nothing to do with the one coming up here Saturday. So we're not going to harp on that much now.
With Devontae Holloman going back to safety for at least this week, they say he may go back to Spur. Does it make sense to you just leave him at safety for the rest of the season, given the depth issues there?
Well, we'll try to put the best athletes on the field. That's what we got to try to do. And we're still searching for those. And Devontae is one of our best. We need to get him out there. He doesn't need to play behind Antonio. Our guys keep saying, well, Antonio's going to get tired, and this, that, and the other. And I always say if we get a whole bunch of 3 and outs, he won't get tired. But we're not getting many 3 and outs right now. So we got some coaching to do on defense. So we need to get the best athletes on the field. Simple as that.
Coach, the question was asked earlier about shortening the field more in the passing game, 3-step drops, quick passes. Is that something you would take a look at?
We do a little bit of that, but no, what we do best is hand the ball to Marcus and play action a little bit and throw it at Alshon. We all know that, so we're not going to get away from that. But we do need to use some other guys more.
Coach, you recently said that the best football team out there on the field in college doesn't always win.
Right.
Not the most talented team. Is this something recent that you've noticed in college football, or is this always been?
Well, it's happened a lot before. Obviously, when some big plays all go against you, and about all the big ones went against Georgia last week. We didn't give them one on offense, didn't give them one on special teams, although we did give a bunch of returns to midfield or in our territory. We put our defense, in some bad field position, but we got all the big plays, and obviously that's how we won the game.
Anything else for Coach? Oh, one more.
Steve, to David's question about the '84 Navy game, do you notice that veteran fans ask more of those paranoid type questions about what went wrong in the past, but that your students, were so supportive last year at the games, and that younger fans seem to have a rosier outlook? Do you notice that at all?
Yes, a lot of students here now. Obviously, last couple of years we've been 6-1 both years. And I don't know what we were the year before. So all the students are used to us winning pretty much at the home game. So they're fired up. They'll be ready to scream and yell. And, but we, as our team approaches this game, we're trying to play a lot better. If we're going to have a big year, and I still think our players are better than the way we're performing right now, but we're going to find out. I got to coach better. Our assistant coaches have got to coach better, and we can't just stand around and let them lob passes up in there and catch them over the top of us like it's happened in the last 2 games. We got to get in the fight and knock balls down, and we got to get some guys open and hit them throwing, and we haven't hit our best at any means yet. So we got a lot of work to do. A lot of coaching. Players got to hopefully learn how to play this game, or we're going to be in trouble this year. We can't win 56, 37, 45, 42 every week. It's just hard to do. Auburn can do it. They know how to do it a lot better than we do. But I don't know that we can do it like that. Yeah. I guess Auburn's won 2 in a row about like that, hasn't it? And but usually they'll catch up with you after a while. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. All right.